Why does this look different? And it says we're live. Whatever.
Look different?
Yeah, it says we're live, yeah. And my KBS is higher as well. It just kept fluctuating from like... Normally we sit at like a few thousand or something, and it just kept fluctuating to like 0 to 1,500 to 0 to 1,500 to 0 to 1,500, and everything was just dying. But my computer was still running perfectly quick. Like there was absolutely nothing wrong with my laptop. It was just so odd. Just to be on the safe side, though, I might lower the bit rate for the stream.
Yeah, okay. I'm just listening now to make sure we're both coming through okay.
Doesn't matter. I'll lower it to...
Yeah, sounds like we're coming through okay.
I'll lower it by okay.
Okay. It's just popped up in the YouTube studio saying that YouTube's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming.
Yeah. So I'll just...
That error's not usually there.
I mean, it says that I should be able to do it at 3,000. So... Just give it a sec, it's probably updating. We seem to be floating
Is that the
around that
recommended?
mark. No, recommended. We normally run at about 4.5, but everything's playing up, so I've lowered it.
Got it. Ooh, how am I gonna stitch this together for podcasting services? That'll be fun.
He might just have to release it as part 1 and part 2. And just say we had technical difficulties.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll be able to stitch it together. That's fine. Are you happy to keep going from now? This all sounds like it's doing fine.
Yeah, I'm happy to keep going. Obviously, my timeline is still 6 is the latest. But yeah, let's see what we can get done.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We're coming on to the final few big things anyway. Which is funny. Like for the first half, we didn't really touch on the two main things, which for this episode, but that's okay. And so, just a quick apology, everyone. Really sorry about that. Everything shot the bed. You know how it be. Everything's fine all day, and then as soon as you start streaming, everything dies. That's what happened. So this is just going to be part 2 of episode 67. Because I don't know how I'm going to format this later, either in 2 episodes or stitch it together on podcast services. So just for clarity, that's what this is. When we left off, Tim, I was saying we were talking about Sony pricing strategies because they were getting sued for $5 billion, etc. And we kind of agreed that there was some sussy things going on there. And the sort of the follow-up story to that, which of course we missed because we were busy jingle-jangling together last week, was that PlayStation raised the price of the PS5. Across everywhere apart from North America. And the Toulon didn't read of this. You know, everyone who's here has probably already heard this from their other podcasters or other YouTubers, is essentially that it's surprising, this is the consensus, it's surprising that they didn't just eat the cost, firstly. But secondly, they've said it was due to kind of inflation and, economic pressure at the moment, but then didn't raise it in their biggest market in America, which would suggest that they were scared of increased competition, basically.
Yeah.
In America being one of their most, competitive markets. Because supposedly Xbox is doing very well in America, or surprisingly well in America at the moment. So I know you're still sorting out stream stuff. So shall I just keep going, or are you?
No, it's fine. Yeah, no, I have listened to everything you said. I mean, I think it's just I was completely on board with you. I don't know why they didn't just swallow the cost. They can argue inflation and costs and all that kind of stuff, but that also affects the consumer. So upping the price to for your consoles, directly affect the consumers. If anything, are affecting more by inflation. So it's a little bit of a weird cop out. But yeah, I mean, it's never been done before, right? Increasing the price of your console post-launch.
Not to my knowledge.
Not
Maybe
yet.
There is like an outlying time it's happened, but I mean, not that I can recall. I'm happy to be corrected.
I don't think so. I can't imagine a scenario where it has, obviously when different models come out or they're bundled or whatever with other stuff, then yes, they're going to be more expensive. But yeah, just a straight up increase of value on it is just such a strange thing to do. And like, it's not even like an astronomical amount to the point where like they totally could have just swallowed it. Like when I saw this headline, I was just like, "Oh man, what is it going up by like £7,500 or something?" Is this looking to be like a close to £600 console now? But it only went up by like 20-25 quid, didn't it, or something? At least in our currency.
Yeah, £30 increase for both versions. Bear in mind, it's for both versions, making it 480 for the disc version and now 400 for the digital.
Okay, yeah. So, and yeah, I don't know. Obviously, I'm completely not on board with this. It's just a straight up price increase, and it kind of sucks. So.
There's a couple of interesting things that kind of have come as a result of this. The first were people speculating immediately after it happened. Will Xbox and Nintendo following suit? Surely if the whole market is under so much pressure, no. I mean, things might change, but they both said no. It's PR speaking. A lot of people were saying it would be big ball behavior to like lower the price, like even just by a small amount of the Xbox right now. Just come out and be like, happy to announce we're reducing the price in all markets by X amount. But they didn't really need to. The goal was open. They just had to sort of like let the ball fall in, and just by saying we're not going to adjust. There are no current plans to change the price. So that was the first thing. The second thing, really, and like you said, it isn't a colossal amount of money that's changing, but the biggest thing for me is that I can only speak from my sort of position. The digital PS5 was a fantastic move from PlayStation, knowing Xbox were going to try and get ahead with a budget series like Xbox, that was going to target 1080, 60. They said in the marketing 1440p, but a powerful little console. That's dead cheap. Games Pass machine. Not much storage, but dead cheap. And this, I think the PS5 digital was in. I don't want to say in competition with the Series S, because the Series S was incredibly cheap. Like here, I got one for like £230 or something. That is crazy. Yeah. Considering it can run games how it does, like that is crazy. I did get a second hand at eBay, but nonetheless, it's a reflection of just the low price of that console. But this price increase really pushes apart. It just creates a bit more of a disparity between the digital PS5 and the Series S. Like the fact that the digital version is now £400.
Yeah, that's kind of mental. You're not going to see a Series S for like any higher than like 330.
No,
and that's coming with
RRP.
That's coming with like a game as well, or like a Games Pass subscription for like a few months or something. That's right. Yeah, you're really just there's literally probably like an £150 plus like gap between those consoles now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the RRP here is £250. So it is. It's £150 difference now, and that's like nah. Like before, it was like it's a push, but if I am leaning PlayStation, I'll get a digital. Now I think that's enough for people to be like, I don't think so. I'm just going to get the Series S.
Yeah,
I don't know. I know it's not that much money, but it's like death by a thousand cuts.
I guess you could also argue that the PlayStation 5 digital is literally the same console, just without a disc tray, right? Whereas the Series S is actually less powerful than the Series X.
Yes.
So, that kind of justifies it a little bit, but regardless whether they like it or not, they have kind of entered the arena and they will be compared, those two consoles, I think. No, I'm kind of in agreement.
Yeah, right.
With you.
Yeah, and it's just like, when you start factoring in the different, that's it. When you start factoring the other stuff we were just talking about in part one, before we, the stream died, was that there are other things that Sony are doing with their prices. When you start to consider, I can't get day one games. Like when God of War comes out, I'm not getting that day one. I have to buy 70 quid, like at full price. for this. And so when you start factoring in that as well, it's like, oh, it just adds up. This stuff adds up. And I think, just looking at the numbers, if just to put it in front of your basic consumer, if they were going to see the Series S and PS5 digital now, that's a £150 difference.
Yeah.
And they can play the same games. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a big difference now.
Yeah.
Whereas 110, 120 was a big difference, but you might be able to swallow it depending. So, anyway, yeah.
When it comes to
pretty shocking.
When it comes to like value for the consumer, Xbox seem absolutely leagues ahead of PlayStation right now. In terms of just sheer value from a subscription service, from like a hardware perspective as well. I just feel like you get more bang for your buck, unless you specifically like the IPs that PlayStation has. But from an actual like money standpoint, Xbox are definitely winning that, which is a complete flip side, because wasn't the Xbox One more expensive than the PS4? It was, wasn't it? Like the previous generation.
Thanks to Kinect, arguably, it's £100 more expensive.
Yeah. So
more expensive, less powerful.
Complete U-turn on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. So next up, we have a couple of interviews. The first being from Phil Spencer, and I think this was I can't remember who exact. Oh, was it Bloomberg? Yeah, I think they had it with Bloomberg. I really hope I'm right. I watched it, but there was a discussion around a lot of things Xbox, but particularly around what's happening with ActiveBliss as well. And he said essentially. The idea of games being made exclusively for one device is something we're going to see less and less of. So, all the exclusive pundits got very sad. And Kotaku got really triggered as well by the looks of it, because they wrote an article titled, "Xbox Boss Says Exclusive Aren't the Future While Company Buys Up Exclusives."
That's not what they meant, though.
It's a weird title.
Yeah. But like the way Xbox said it was just platform, like, right? How did they word it again in the interview?
Yeah, Phil said, it was Phil. The idea of games made exclusively for one device is something we're going to see less and less of going
So he just used device, but there are multiple devices and options in the Xbox family, from PC to Series S to Series X to cloud gaming to everything.
Oh, you have a brain.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. It would seem there are, in fact, a lack of brain wrinkles over at Kotaku.
Oh, okay.
That's just a shitty headline, is it? No, you're absolutely right. Yeah, he's not saying he didn't say we're just going to buy shit and keep it all on Xbox. He's saying, well, like, look, we're going to PC and we're going to cloud, and we've got two consoles and we're going cross-gen, and PS5 are even doing cross-gen, and they're going to PC and they're investing in remote play, and it's like, I don't know. I'm so done with the exclusivity debate.
Yeah.
I know it's important. I do understand that, but I feel like there are more important things than exclusives. And subscription services and value are definitely one of those things. At least of equal value. So anyway, that was fun. That created some fun discussions. The next interview, Tim, was from Matt Booty. Remember Matt Booty?
I do remember Matt Booty. Yeah, how can I forget a name like that?
No, you can't. He's the lead of Xbox Game Studios. He flies around and makes sure things are on target, things are happening, etc., etc. And he said, I watched, it was a Twitch stream. It lasted about half an hour, maybe an hour. It was like a Q&A panel. It was good, actually. But at the end, they did some quick-fire questions, and he spoke about 3 first-party studios in particular. And I just want to quickly go through them and get some thoughts from you. So one of the things he said, which caught some headlines today, but I don't think for good reason, but he said that the time of one, so single studio, AAA, single player development is long gone. So essentially that teams collaborate all the time. When they're making a big game, they recruit other smaller teams to help and take up the grunt work. Not, I mean, it'd be in the trenches, etc. And he pointed to the initiative working with Crystal Dynamics as an example with that.
Yeah.
We know that Mojang are working with Blackbird for Minecraft Legends. We know that Bethesda were working with Double 11 for Fallout 76, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all of this stuff, like 343 working with Certain Affinity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess it hadn't really ever occurred to me that we actually were going in that direction because we're just simply not in the industry, you know. So we only see it when it gets like announced, and it never seems like big news. But I mean, what are your thoughts here? I mean, is this like obvious? Do you think, or would you have been do you think that what he's saying is factual? Can you think of like a single studio AAA developers that don't recruit help? Is that feasible? Is that normal to you? Or does that sound normal?
I think it's no. I don't think that's normal. I think a lot of them recruit help, whether or not they make it public or not. You probably find that small bits of work get shifted out to different studios under the same umbrella quite a lot. Yeah, even if that's not made public, you know, and you'll still see them in like the credits of the game and stuff like that. But like, it won't just be like, oh, they worked with the coalition on this or something like that. You know, like they're collaborating with the coalition. I think it's very common. As we established in the previous episode, video game developing is getting harder and harder and harder. It requires more and more resource, whether that's creative resource or just straight up just work resource. We just need more hands to get this work done. You know, yeah, I think it's very common that you see this sort of thing, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's something that should have shade thrown at it and just being like, oh, they need help, they're clearly struggling, you know, like everyone was saying with Crystal Dynamics and whoever they were working with and the initiative. Yeah, it's just like they're not struggling, like they're not like in deep water. They're just enlisting some help. Like it's pretty normal. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you there. I guess like because this the other side of this is, of course, like when Xbox started going on its buy spree, particularly Bethesda. I think a lot of us started to do all of this, like fanfic. What if Studio X helped Studio Y? What if Studio Z collaborated with Studio A? And one of the things that he said with this is that the coalition are helping out Undead Labs with Unreal Engine 5, which I thought, well, that is actually, that's a damn good idea, because none of those games are optimized. What were they called? State of Decay? They're never optimized, are they?
No.
So yes, give it to the UE wizards.
Yeah, they suck. And Coalition, they put a lot of polish into their games. So, and yeah, they know how to run that engine. So it just makes sense, right? Like it's ridiculous. Why would you not use the resource if it's there?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was good. So that was the second one. The second piece, and the third, he was asked a very quick fire question about Fable.
Let's go.
Yeah, so he, when asked about Fable, he was talking about like delays and announcing stuff. I think the host asked him, how's Fable coming along? And he said that he keeps going to see it, and he keeps saying to them, this looks amazing, we should show this off. And they keep saying to him, no, we only want to show it when we're ready. Presumably he wants to show it off because he thinks he's very impressed with what he's seeing. And this is to quote what he said, to give you a little bit of bit of excitement. The craft and dedication that they brought to Forza Horizon, they are bringing to Fable, and they keep proving that they get it. And because he also mentioned this kind of idea of like, it being a surface value, being a weird choice to pick the driving game studio, but spoke about that a little bit, and there's confidence in the team. And I think, I don't want to linger on this too long, but I think if Playground nails Fable, I think they really solidify themselves as like a Naughty Dog or an Insomniac team.
Yeah, just one.
If they haven't already.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like, they're a master of their genre.
yeah, they are a master of their genre. Yeah, but yeah, to nail something like Fable, yeah, I think they just shoot up to the top as one of the best developers out there. I think because it just shows that they can take on any project. You know, there's not much. There's you can't jump much a bigger gap than driving game to RPG. So like, if you can do that, then you can make a shooter, and if you can make a shooter, then you can fix a toaster, and if you can fix a toaster, then you can.
If you can give me heart surgery, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, literally, if they nail Fable and I have any medical problems, I'm just going to turn up at Leamington Spa, like with a scalpel, and just do it.
Yeah, cut me open. Yeah, and they're like, you know what?
I know you can do it.
Get me my fucking gloves.
Yeah,
sort this kid out.
So, yeah, just fun little mentions on some of the first party stuff, because I think because we've been talking about Activision for so fucking long, and obviously like Starfield has been like on the rumblings as well, and a bit of Redfall, we've been talking about like the same first party shit, but like we forget that all of this is going on as well. You know, with the Initiative and Fable and State of Decay and Coalition's next game and yada yada yada. You know, if you forgot what to say, it's just a refreshing reminder that that's all ongoing.
Yeah.
Lovely. What time are we on? How are we doing for time? Okay. I think that's it. I think that's the last story.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, we've done it. This is the last story. Most important one. It's on the video. It's on both of the videos, because there's two of them now. The whole Halo Infinite thing. Tim, did you catch wind of the newest roadmap?
So I've caught rumblings of it, but I have not actually jumped in to see what this roadmap entails fully. So
I'm so jealous.
I'm coming into this baby naked, newborn. Let's do this.
Okay. Well, essentially, you know, 343 had been very quiet for a while, sorting stuff out. And they, so we're going to get a live reaction. This is pretty good. This is going to make the whole thing worth it, the whole split videos. So they came out their cocoon and they did a 30-minute video and they showed the new roadmap with all the text on it, you know, what's coming up. And as you know, Season 2 ends in November.
Yeah.
Not anymore. Ends in March 23.
Oh, let's fucking go. Are you serious?
I'm serious. Hang on, though, I'm not done. Because this is important. There is nuance here, because that's the thing that everybody's running with, and obviously not ideal. Okay. They're doing like a Season 2 booster, like expansion. Season 2 plus. I don't know, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
They're calling it, what's it called? It's called like the winter update or something. I can't see it from what I'm looking at. And in the winter update, which is going to start when Season 3 would have started in November, starts the Forge beta.
Okay.
Official release of co-op. So that got delayed because that was meant to come out at the end of August.
Yeah.
So that gets officially launched November. A 30-tier battle pass. So like a new battle pass that's free. You don't have to buy it. It's free. The premium track, everything. And 2 new maps, an arena and a BTB. Alongside that, they're also doing a new game mode, which is Covert 1 Flag, which is like a spies versus mercs. One team has like a set of guns and I think it was like invisibility and energy swords, and another team has radar, what they call the fucking radar pulses.
Yeah.
And commandos, I think it was. So it's like an asymmetric game mode, which I thought sounded quite fun, but whatever. It's just a game mode.
Yeah.
And they're also in this, they're going to have match XP ready for them as well, which is like, you get the majority of your XP gains through performance rather than through challenges. This was a big community request. Because you're looking at me like that doesn't sound like a big feature, but the community was shitting themselves about
I know, it is a big
only
feature.
being able to get XP through challenges.
Yeah, yeah.
So all of that's coming in November. It's not a Season 3, it's like a Season 2 update. However, Season 3 doesn't start until March 23. So before we even go into what Season 3 is, thoughts?
I will not be returning to Halo Infinite this year. Probably. Unless I play doubles.
Did you see my note?
Yes. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Season 23. I'll be on Overwatch.
Yeah. I'm not coming back for fucking 2 maps. and some fucking rejigged capture the flag. No, it's not enough, man. I don't really think there's much more to say on it. We don't even know what the battle pass looks like either. Like, for all we know, that could be underwhelming, right? Did they show it off?
Actually, the guy that we're sitting on right now, he's part of it in the video version.
I'm not gonna lie, I would have thought that armor was already in the game.
It's some more Reach stuff that's like CQB. People are pretty happy with the stuff that is coming in that battle pass. It's one of the very small victories as a result. We don't know what the rest of it is. But like I said, it's entirely free.
I'm not gonna lie, that set of armor I genuinely would have thought is in the game already. Like it just looks like something that I swear my Spartan has worn and was in the Reach battle pass.
Well, I mean, it's Halo armor, man.
Yeah, it's not too flashy, is it?
Like it's not going to be a clown suit, or a banana.
Boo.
Boo.
But yeah, no, that's a gut punch right there.
I mean,
tell me what's coming.
I don't think there's anybody in the world who's going to. I don't think anybody in the world is going to say this is good news. However, this is a very tempered reaction compared to the community. And as a result, #Fire343 has been trending.
It's not
unlike
that bad. And maybe that's because I'm just not invested in Halo right now. And I've got other shooters lined up. So I wasn't planning on coming back even if they dropped. Well, they would have had to drop a new weapon and like equipment, all that sort of stuff for me to come back this year, I think.
Right.
So, and I'm just not.
Yeah, they're like there is some things here I will dip my toes back into. For example, the Yappening is an event that's starting tomorrow. Like 20-second teaser got released for it, I think, a couple of hours ago as of recording. Looks pretty. I think there's some like really fun. To be honest, I think I might be able to get you on for a game or two because there's like a handful of silly game modes for the Yappening. It's around the Yap. It's around a legendary grunt called Yap Yap. I think a Halo fan's gonna have to correct me, like in the lore. And they've done a Yappening event before in Halo 5, and like there's kill effects that's like paint exploding out of people's heads and shit. Like it looks like silly stuff, which is fun. So and I don't know if they're gonna add it to a playlist or whatever, but there's like I think 3 game modes. One of them's Kong Slayer, grappling hooks and unlimited arrows.
So I might come back to Halo Infinite this year.
You might do.
I might now. I am the Kong master.
You are the Kong master. And I know our friend, our mutual friend, Will, said that he would be playing that as well. And what is that? There's something else there that I can't read. It's just another event, I think. So anyway, yeah, it's just too slow. I don't understand. It's just too slow. Like, Forge is going to be fantastic when that comes out. I don't think it's launching alongside a customs browser. A customs browser is coming, but it's not coming alongside it, which it really needs to really get that momentum. So I think that's really silly. It's just disappointing. Obviously, we're not knee-jerking on any of this. We never have been. It's not good. Like, we can't. There's no disagreeing on that. The cadence is still too slow, and I really thought they would have been here by now. It came out in October last year. They said that by the time they're at March 23, so the release of Season 3, that's when they're expecting they'll be in the content cadence and where they want to be. But given that they've slipped on so many release dates, people have lost confidence in Brutal 3's ability to keep to their word.
Yeah.
I think there are lots of things that they have hit, but they haven't been as consistent as other live service studios. They've tried to be transparent with some of these videos that they've done, but then the thing they left it to the 9th hour to announce that co-op wasn't coming out in August. They didn't say anything, and I just think that's silly stuff. They need to get out ahead of this. Even as much as I know the community is the worst, the literal worst. Some of it, I don't know what the shake-up needs to be. So let's just go through what Season 3 is quickly, and then we can kind of wrap this up in a package and finish off, because I know we're getting close to the end of time for you. So season 3 starting in March 23, which is like crazy. Like
It's just saying it out loud, yeah.
it's a 10-month long season 2. Okay, there's an extension in there with another 2 maps, but
that's ass. Yeah, that's...
the Bandit. I don't know if you've seen it again. There's been loads of leaked gameplay for all of this. It's all in the files. I didn't say the worst part. Well, probably not for you and me. As a result of all of this, they've had to drop split screen co-op. Not happening anymore.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah. That's a big deal though for a lot of people.
Yeah, like the wording on it isn't, I don't think, entirely. The only thing, like Joseph Staten said, we've had to stop development or stop something like that. Like we're stop development on split screen co-op. So I don't know if it's cancelled indefinitely, but like this is a thing. Like if it does come, it's coming in 2 years.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it's indefinitely paused.
Yeah.
Which of course has upset a lot of people. And as you know, I've been playing through all the Halos with my wife. So that is a bit disappointing. We'll have to find another way to do it. Because network co-op is still happening, but yeah, that's obviously upset a lot of people as well. Again, this losing trust kind of thing. You made a promise, and now you're just dropping the feature. So yeah, season 3, new weapon. The Bandit is like an old DMR, doesn't have a scope, so much like the pistol, you can't get descoped when you're shot. You can zoom, but there's no scope for long range. It fires slow and heavy. It's not a power weapon. It's meant to be a BR competitor. I think it's 5-shot kill, 4 break shield, 5 to the head. It looks very nice. Sounds very nice as well. I've seen it in action.
Cool.
The new equipment, which is the shroud screen, which is kind of like it's essentially a smoke, but it's a dome. And when you're in the dome, you can see other things within the dome.
Yeah.
And when you're in it, I think you're not picked up on the radar either. You can fire, you can throw grenades, you can move, and you can put it on corners and. You won't get picked up on radars and stuff.
Okay.
Looks like a cool piece of equipment. I like the look of it.
I like it. Yeah.
Another 2 maps, 2 more game modes that they've already said are happening there. And all the other stuff, new battle pass, etc., etc. I really thought, and I guess some of it I think is maybe my fault for just because it all looks ready. Like from the leaks that I see online, it all looks ready to go. I thought all of this was coming in November, and I thought, yep, season 3, it's going to be pretty big. If we had all of that. November, right? Map equipment, 4 maps, Forge. That would be the kickstart that I think Infinite needed to get going again.
So, have they said when this comes out in November if it's going to be 3 months? Will it be a 3-month season? Not November. Sorry,
Wait,
March.
You mean when season 3 comes out?
Yeah.
They've said
the one in March 2023.
That they. Yes, yeah, they said that this is going to be the beginning of our, I think, 28-day long, or something like that. Yeah, no, not 28. 13-week, I think, is what they said. That's where they're going to start going for 13-week long seasons, which is essentially 3 months.
So, even so, it's great. 3-month season, on board for that. We're getting 4 maps until June 2023. 4 additional maps.
6.
Why 6? I thought you said there was 2 here. And 2
There's
in
2,
the booster.
No, so we're getting 2 in. We're getting 2 in November, 2 in March, and we've already had 2, so it'll be 6 total by the time March rolls around.
Oh, okay. All right, you're including this season. I'm including from this point onwards. I'm not including this season that's
okay. Got you.
Essentially
from this point onwards,
been and gone. They're boosting onto it now. It's slow. I mean, the weapon and stuff, the weapon and equipment, obviously fantastic. Like, there's so many hours of gameplay you can have with those. We've been screaming for those for so long. That's awesome. I would have liked to seen an SMG come in. I'm not gonna lie.
It's in the files.
Yeah, I think that would have actually slipped into the meta a little bit. Not meta, but just something different than what's already in the game. We already have a commando. We already have a BR. This is just kind of an in-between of the two. Might not even necessarily fill a role. It's just doing the same thing, just in a different way. Whereas an SMG is a bit different.
what they've said is that it's designed to be more close to mid-range for a DMR, which is why it's essentially without a scope, which I think makes it fill a bit of a different role. Because I'm with you, at face value, we already have a semi-auto commando, right? But this is like, it's meant to be good at close to mid.
Can you really see yourself five-shotting someone with this close to mid before someone just sprays you down with an AR though? Nah.
I think so. Time to kill is very quick.
I think you said it's slow and heavy hitting.
Yeah, time to kill is quick though.
Okay.
Fire rate's slow.
Yeah, I mean, 5 shots sounds like a lot if the fire rate's slow, but 5 shots to kill.
I mean, nonetheless, like, I understood their reason for the weapon filling a role, but I also understand why some people will have wanted like a completely different weapon.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy with it. I like those sort of weapons, but just from like a sandbox perspective, I think something like an SMG would have been cooler. But yeah. I mean, it's you can't look at it and say it's bad content. It's all stuff people have asked for. And it's all additions onto the game, welcome additions and improvements and new items in the sandbox. That's great. It's just timing. That's all it is. They're just fucking snails, dude. Like, there are so many other shooters in the market. You gotta be quicker. Like, I'm not playing this until like probably like second quarter of 2023. Like April maybe. Maybe I'll hop on when it releases in March, but it'll probably be more like April. Like, I'm just not going to give it the time of day until then. And it's through no fault of its own. It's a great game, and we all know it's a fantastic game. They're just way too slow with content.
As a live service, it's
they're really shooting themselves in the foot here.
And they said in the update video, right? They got out in front, and they said like we know the season's this long isn't working, and this isn't going to cut it. We need to be quicker.
But they're fully aware.
It's just a fact. They're just figuring out how to do that. Essentially, I think they're trying to up stuff. They're still having problems. I think they must be having problems with the engine or something technical problems. As well. And we know that 343 were particularly impacted by COVID in a way that most what they called studios weren't. Because of, I think they were in Washington, which is like the first state to have gotten hit in the US, so they had like, and they were particularly not arranged for a remote working setup. And anyway, it's not excuse making; it's just explaining why it's happening, because it's not good. But like, this has been, I think about when I've spoken about this over the last year, I've like progressively got more and more irate about it, and I think like. I don't know where it was. A couple of months ago, I said I was kind of at the end of my tether and wanted a bit more news. And like, now it's kind of like, I'll hop in now and then for maybe an event and have a bit of fun. But I'm now happy to just put the game down until this is all ready. Like, I like the look of what you're doing. I would just want it a little bit quicker. And I think you're going to have a real chop. You're going to make it hard for yourself, because Overwatch is now going to be out and Modern Warfare 2 is now going to be out. But, obviously they haven't chosen that, but that's just, it's the management. And that leads us on to the closing question for today, Tim, which is, should Halo be given to another studio? That's what's been flying around Twitter. People calling to fire 343, 450 devs, get rid of them, give it to another studio. What do we think?
I mean, I think the answer is pretty obvious, right? No. It should absolutely not.
The answer is yes. Give it to Bugsnax developers.
You don't even know their names. Give it to Bugsnax developers. No, it shouldn't. Because just the transition period and the handover period of giving it to another studio is going to delay content even further, when 343 slowly, I will say slowly, getting their feet under the desk. So why would you rip them away from the desk now? Like, just at this point, it's gone on long enough. They're just starting to stabilize. Let them take their training wheels off. There's no reason to give it to another studio at this point. It will just create more delays, create more issues. if they built this from the ground up and they're potentially having issues with the engine, what's to say another studio will have more? They'll have more. So I think, although they haven't shown that they can do it fantastically, I still think they're the best suited for the job. What do you think?
And well, no, I'm with you. I think it's silly. I think people who are saying that are just out for blood. Like, it doesn't make any. It's not feasible. It doesn't make any logical sense. You can't, and it doesn't. Like, I don't understand the accountability of it either. Like, what do you mean? There's 450 people at 343. Oh, fucking Jimmy the intern. Are we firing?
Yeah,
him?
he fucked up.
What do you mean? The artists? Like, Halo Infinite is a fantastic. I would say Halo Infinite is still the best looking shooter on the market. In multiplayer, a lot of people will go back and forth from the technical side of the campaign. Fine. The multiplayer looks fantastic. It runs at 4K 60. You can go to 120. It's so crisp.
120 it's better than live. Yeah.
It
runs
it's so
better
crispy.
than live.
So like what? Yeah. The music in that game is fantastic. The little beep boop boop, the little sound effects in the games. Like, well, why are we firing those guys? Do you know, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, this falls on like management somewhere. If this goes to Phil, Phil, look, we worshipped on this show, arguably.
Yeah.
Something needs to happen. It's silly because I know we're just talking about Infinite, but fans will say 343 haven't made a good game ever. They'll say they fucked up the Master Chief Collection, which they did, have recovered, and now everybody says MCC is a blessing. Halo 4 was good, but they just didn't like the direction. Halo 5, multiplayer was, good, wasn't the right direction maybe for some people, and also people we didn't like the campaign, although Forge was good. So it's just so fucking spotty, and I think about the tier list we made, when we did it a while back, we put 343 reluctantly at the bottom of A-. We said like B+, A-. And that's just maybe like a sign of the times of where we were at when we did that, which would have been just before E3, It's been a bit of a slow start, but we had a lot of fun with it. There must be a lot of stuff on the horizon. Now, I'm like...
No.
Right, I'm like C+.
Yeah,
I'm like, I love the
B,
stuff that you make. I love that you finally got the direction right for Halo now. But like, man, it's just a bunch of snails. You're right.
Yeah.
You're a harem of snails. Like, you're just not going to... And like, so... yes, once that gets sorted, maybe we'll be in a position where we can look back at this and we can pretend it was all a bad dream and say, yep, this is much better. We're in a good place now. But like, this shouldn't have happened, and we don't really have time to go into the whole discussion of like, should it have been delayed or should it not. But it's it's another discussion worth having another time. Maybe we'll have it again when season 3 doesn't launch. Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. I'm okay with lending the IP to other studios, but I think as the mainline franchise, the 450 people that work on this do it because they want to, and they're intimately familiar with the source material. If you've got a problem with the direction and the management, which I think is the problem here, then we need to think about that. And the thing is that the wheels of change are already in motion there. Joseph Staten's taken over. Certain affinity's been brought on. They're like rapidly upstaffing. These things are already happening. Yeah. So they're hiring ex-Bungie devs. So it's a shame that this has had to happen, but I think you can see when Halo Infinite launched, they realized this was going to be a bit tragic and they need to start accelerating, but these things just take time. So time sucks, but here we are.
Yeah, things take time. People just didn't realize how much time. Yeah. It's a shame because there's going to be countless negative articles about Halo over the next 6 months now. It's like, look at the Steam numbers and the player counts are going to get low. Like, they already are quite low, but it's like, whatever, like, it doesn't faze me much. I don't really care. I think when this game gets into a steady cadence, people will come back. This shit happens all the time, like Siege, Apex, and fucking, what's another one? Fortnite, Destiny. All of these games hit their max player count years after launch. Yeah,
There's a reason for that, because they get better. So, it is a damn shame. This has been really quite gross for this first year of the live service. That's the thing. The live service has sucked. I actually think the game itself is very, very good. The live service has been dreadful.
Yeah.
So,
agreed.
Yeah. No, we are not Team Fire 343. We are Team Stop being snails 343 and keep giving us some good stuff at a ready cadence.
Absolutely.
Alrighty. All right. Well, once again, guys, if you have managed to stick around this long, apologies for the technical issues earlier, the internet dropouts and everything. We couldn't do anything about it, unfortunately. We hope to get back to a more weekly schedule, hopefully. Anyway, so hopefully we'll see you all next week.
Will we see them?
Rush.
Will we see them this Sunday? Will we reconvene in the next 6 days?
Yes, I'm around for next week, so we'll do it on Sunday.
Yeah,
Sunday normal time.
We'll be back to normal time. But obviously, we've been busy boys, been sick boys, and the technical difficulties here were very much out of our control. So, but hey ho, let's see what magic that can stitch together. It'll be fine for YouTube. It'll just be like a part 1, part 2, and you might even be able to just download one and sort of squish them together and just re-upload.
I'm not going to re-upload
Probably
them.
not.
It is
but
what it is.
Even if it's a part 1, part 2, it's not really an issue. I think, like you said, that's the struggle is going to be for our audio listeners on other platforms. But we're going to.
Yeah, I think I'll be able
things.
to stitch them together in my video editing thing. So that's fine. It just takes a bit more work, but not the end of the world. That's fine.
Yeah, but as always, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah. All right, chaps, chums, and everything else. We'll catch you next Sunday. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.